What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Vicktory Life Legacy Spotlight. Today, it's been a long time coming. I have my longtime brother, a Western Branch standout, Virginia Tech standout, Indianapolis Colts and Jaguars running back standout, one of my best friends, but a better person, loved by many, respected by many, Shyrone Stith. How you doing, boss?
What's up, man? I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm great, man. This has been a long time coming. For our viewers, man, we were supposed to do this 7 months ago, but Shyrone had a trip he had to make to the 757. I was going to do a feature with you and Jared after I did with Marcus and Ox, but it's better because I get you one-on-one, so I can't, you hid behind Jared when he was blocking for you. But we're going single back tonight, man, But no, Shy, man, a lot of people were excited when I announced that you were going to be on, man. I've known you since 1996.
Right.
A lot of people, man, our good friend Alfonso, everybody, Dre Bly, all the Hokies, Andre Kendrick, everybody was very happy for you. April. So many people want to hear your legacy spotlight because you are so much more than a running back. You're an educator, you're a leader, you're a father. So we're gonna talk about all that, man. But I want to start off, man. Let's go back to the 7-5. Let's go back to when it all started because there's stuff I know, but many people don't realize, man, like some of the challenges you had to overcome just to get to Virginia Tech and some of the stuff you went through. So, well, let's talk about growing up. You are a P-Town guy.
Oh yeah, a lot of people don't know about that.
So let's talk about, because that's why I want to dive into this, your legacy spotlight. Let's talk about Portsmouth. Growing up, where you grow up, neighborhood, just take us back to your childhood. What was like growing up?
I was born on 4th Street in Portsmouth. A lot of people, that street took you into the shipyard in Portsmouth. My mom got married and we moved to Churchland. And from there, I did a lot of my childhood growing up, going to my aunt house, Ann house. So I was staying with my aunt a lot of the time while my mom went to work and my stepdad went to work. So I did a lot of my childhood in Southside Gardens, Washington Park, Academy Park, Jeffrey Wilson a little bit, out of Baba. a lot of the projects in Portsmouth.
Yes,
I knew a lot of the Northern players, Wilson players, and then my cousin Ronald Boone. He played at Wilson.
Shout out to Boone, a great.
Yeah, shout out to Boone. So I knew a lot of those Portsmouth players because I played against them a lot of the time. So a lot of my childhood, I was in Portsmouth playing football, jumping off of mattresses, old mattresses, stuff like that. Playing basketball, just outside, ripping and running all over the place, stuff like that.
Shy, man, you and I are from the 757. I'm from the Newport News and Hampton, the Peninsula. You from the Southside, and you and I, we're in a group chat with Clinton, Aaron, and we take a lot of pride in where we come from. Many people think it's arrogance because it's about sports, but you saw, especially during that time frame when you and I were growing up. I'm a few years older than you, but during that time frame, and even now, it's rough sledding. Like we saw stuff, you've had. Recently, and even back then, family members murdered and people got caught up in the game, man. Like
it's about that was survival. Like? It's like survival. You saw a lot of people getting, like you said, shot, robbed at the basketball court when somebody got upset, and you're like, "Yo, you stay right here. You stay right here." You knew you better leave basketball court. Okay, it's time to go. It's time to go. So you get those things from those neighborhood that you take now, and you know it's common sense now. Like you don't think about it. when you see something, you bump your homeboy, it's time to go. When somebody else is like, what's going on? What's it's time to go. So things back then, I think about it now, I'm grateful for it now. Because I'm glad I saw those things. I'm glad I went through those things. Me and my cousin Boone was talking about those things the other day. About my cousin Reggie. He passed away, and I can just remember being at his house, waiting for my mom to come pick me out Southside Garden. Shots, and we just go. We're just. I can laugh at it now. We're just like the whole family just on the floor, like boom, hit the floor. It's just second nature. Like we hitting the floor, we getting in the hallway, or we couldn't go in the kitchen because the kitchen had a patio window. So you couldn't go in the patio window because you don't want to get hit by a straight bullet. You had to get in the hallway where the hallway had an upstairs, or you had to go in the bathroom. So like that was probably like for real, maybe twice, 3 times a month. So like stuff was real like that. Even out Washington Park. My cousin Alfonso Ruffin lived out there, and my uncle that just passed 2 weeks ago, he lived out there. So I used to go out there and, go and play with my cousins out there all the time too. So it was real. I had fun, and, stuff, back then you just didn't, it was second nature. You were so used to it. It wasn't dangerous. It was just something you were just used to, what not to get into, what to look out for. And it's just what it was.
So, the 757, as we mentioned, it's you have your crime, you have your poverty, but it's also some great people down there, great families, sports families. You have always been, since I've known you, family oriented. And we're going to talk about your athletic career and everything in here in a second, but I want to spend a segment just talking about how important your family is, because I met your mom when you got to Virginia Tech, and then I sat and watched games with her when you played for the Jaguars. Your mom's a straight shooter, man. But talk about the support, because honestly, if you don't have that family support, you and your sister and just your cousins, especially the ones that didn't get caught up, you could have got caught up. But your mom was on you. Like, how was it? How was it growing up?
Yeah, like my mom, especially so I grew up, my mom was my backbone, because she sometimes, when she got divorced, she had to work a lot of the time, like 2 jobs. So that alone just told me not to mess up. So even though I was running track and playing football and also had a job myself, that alone I didn't want to mess up and put more pressure or more stress on her mind. I have a little sister, Andrea, as well, and just wanted to keep her out of trouble, keep her on a straight and narrow as well. I want to keep my grades up. I wanted to keep my mom, her mind fresh, that I wasn't doing something I wasn't supposed to be doing. I wanted to get a scholarship, first of all, because at first I just wanted to get a scholarship so I can become a teacher. I always wanted to be a teacher. So, my mom always said, like, you need to get a scholarship, because my mom didn't have the money to send me to school. So I had to get a scholarship or join the military or something like that. But my mom did her best. She kept food over on the table. She did her best with clothes and things of that nature, So, and she always put hustle in us. So I wasn't always at home just laying on the couch. Like, if I wanted something, I had to go and get it. So I didn't have a car, had a job, Like she had to come pick me up at 11, 12 o'clock midnight on the school night, you know, because I had a job. So I had to go to school, and that was after football season. So she just instilled that work ethic. Like if I wanted something, I had to go get it. And
you weren't working during the season, were you?
During football season?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So so most of the time,
crazy.
Because my homeboy Bobby Holly got me a job, my first job at Taco Bell. So some nights after the game, I would go to Taco Bell and work. And then I worked that all day Sunday or most of Sunday. And then come back the next weekend. Then after the season, I'll work after the season. Yeah, man.
I never knew that. I've known you forever. I never knew you.
Yeah, man. Because like I said, my mom didn't have the money to like give me money to like buy clothes or just anything, you know. So even for my SATs, you know, I had to spend money to pay for my SATs. For prom, I had to pay for my prom stuff, all that stuff. So she didn't have extra money, you know. She had money to put food on the table, pay the bills, and you know, her car note and stuff like that. So anything extra for me, I had to take care. I had to take care of that.
Yeah, that's amazing, and that's impressive as well, man. Because a lot of times, not even this generation, but even back then, you know, kids did whatever they expected it, despite how hard their parent may work, or maybe didn't have. But you made it work for you. That's impressive. I shouldn't be surprised, man, because you've always been a hard worker, man. But let me ask you this, Shy. I was in Hampton and Newport News, so I knew about the youth football leagues and basketball leagues down there. Before we talk about Western Branch and how you got there, did you play? Because I've had Rania Whitaker on, Aaron Rouse, a lot of different people from the Southside, and they talk about the different games and things like that. Who did you play for? Did you just wait? Because some guys waited till they got to high school. I mean, who did you play for?
My mom won't let me play football, man, until
what?
My mom won't let me play until she said I was too small, man.
Because I noticed you when we talk about youth ball, you never really chime in. So you didn't even play?
No, my mom won't let me play football until I was in seventh grade, I think. Yeah. My mom won't let me play until I was in seventh grade because I was small, man. I was small. Maybe I don't know how tall I was, but I was small because she said I was small. So she was like, no, they ain't gonna hurt my baby. So and she, big sports fan. My mom would yell in the house like she had a game. So she wouldn't let me play. She wouldn't let me play. And it was junior high. She wouldn't let me play football until I was in seventh grade. So I started playing football in seventh grade, organized football. Now I used to play outside with the big boys till I can't remember. But organized football with pads and helmets and stuff like that, I didn't play until seventh grade in middle school.
So you played for the middle school ball?
Yeah.
Western Branch Middle. Okay.
Yep. So they said, the coaches said I was too small to start at running back, but I started at DB. Yeah, so go figure that. So I was too small to start at running back, but I started at DB in middle school.
That's why I love these legacy spotlights, because I've known people 20 years, 15. I didn't even know you played DB. Never knew that.
I was nice too. I was nice too now. I was nice. Yeah,
we got to get some tape. I gotta ask Moms for some of them tapes. Get it converted to digital. So you mentioned Western Branch Middle, man, and you went to Western Branch High School. At that time, I mean, we knew about y'all across the water. Like y'all had talent. You had your big brother Dre Bly, Lorenzo Ferguson, who I met at Tech, aka Fruit Dog.
We can't tell people how his name through, dog. We can't tell them.
We can't. That's for after dark legacy spotlight.
Right.
But man, let's take us back to the Western Branch days, man, because that's when the deep creeks of the world. I mean, this is before Oscar Smith rose to prominence. Oscar Smith, people don't realize back then they were not the Oscar Smith we know now.
Right.
Western Branch and Norcom. I mean, across the water, it was. Let's go back to the Friday Night Lights, man. What was it like playing at Western Branch, man? Like all that talent y'all had, man.
Man, I just remember like TJ Giles was the guy at Western Branch. When I got moved up to, I was on JV squad at the time. So seeing TJ Giles and Aaron Sparrows, he was at Wilson. Then my cousin had just went to, I think, Norfolk State and all those guys. And then they moved up to college and then moving up to varsity. Oh my goodness. All those guys, and I'm just looking up because I was still short. I was probably like 5'6", right? So I just knew I had to get bigger, I had to get stronger. So I was never one of those players that, I wanted to like I wouldn't say I had to start. I'm always a player that I want to see how the plays ran. I want to see how the layout is, and I want to see how the competition lays out. I don't mind getting beat out if a guy is better than me. I don't mind working for my position. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So the guy's better than me, the guy's better than me. So if I'm behind him, I'm working towards making a team better, But we had a loaded team. Myself, I had Marco Hernandez was on the team. Mm-hmm. We had a loaded squad. Norcom was a good team, and then River. Tony Morrison was there.
Tony Morrison, I was waiting for you. Tony Morrison to Sean
Tony Morrison
Foreman.
was like the He-Man of Southeastern District at the time.
Yes, he was, and they had Sean Foreman with him.
Sean Foreman was there. Man, that guys was like, oh my goodness. So if it wasn't for Tony Morrison going to Virginia Tech, I wouldn't have went to Virginia Tech.
Really?
So a lot of people don't know that.
How do I not know this?
I thought I told you. I told somebody that. So because I didn't even know. So you do know I've always been a Duke basketball fan.
Well, I do know that.
So when I got I like a football interest note from Virginia Tech, I was just like, who is Virginia Tech? And these colors are ugly as hell. What? I was like, come on, man. I can't wear these colors. Now, be truthful. When you first got your know, like, I'm gonna wear these colors, man. Come on, man.
I didn't even. I'm older than you, so at least when you were looking at Tech, we had success. When Tech, I was looking at UVA, Notre Dame, Florida,
exactly,
other school, and Tech. It wasn't even the colors. I just didn't even know. But then when I got there, we had the, orange, sugar, gator, and the rest is history. But I learned to like all the room. But you're right, the colors back then, they're not. I don't know. It's evolved.
Right. So and then like as soon as I saw the letter, and then they started popping up on TV. So that's when I called interest. But when Tony Morrison committed, I was like, man, I got to start looking at Virginia Tech. So when he went there, I was like, man, I got to go there because like Tony Mo was that guy.
Yes, he was.
He was that people. I don't know if people forget or they forgot. But Tony Mo was that dude. So when he went to Virginia Tech, I was like, I gotta go. Because I looked at he was there. He was like that pedestal dude, like in Tidewater at the time on the Southside.
No. He was known even on the peninsula because Tony played football and basketball. And was an AAU standout.
Right.
I mean, Tony Morrison was that guy. To me, you got him, Jay Clark, and a few other guys. You know, I mean, Allen Iverson, of course, but during that era, Tony Morrison, he was always on Wavy TV 10. And and he always, you know, back then we had the big shoulder pads, and he had a full beard.
Man, everybody in the Rivers squad had a full beard, even in JV. I'm like, you need to check some of these records.
No, Tony Morrison, man. Shout out to Tony. I think people do forget. That's why I do these legacy spotlights. It's more so about the legacy. Yeah, I got to get Tony on, to be honest with you. But hold on, before we talk about Tech, because there's so much with Tech. Tech is, we got stories for days. We won't get to Tech. I want to go back to Western Branch, though, man. Like, you know, you talked about, you know, Tony Morrison and Dre Bly and other people's influence on you. But Friday Night Lights, when I have guests on, I ask them about those memories, because now we're older. Everything now is in reflection mode. But, you know, what were some of your fondest memories when you played at Western Branch? Were there some games when you get together with Lorenzo and all y'all like, look, man, on 3rd and 1, like, I did this, or, you know, that game right there, we're going back and forth. If my guy ain't fumbled the ball, like, what memories? 'Cause I know in the Peninsula, when I get together, we talk about Hampton and Bethel, or Hampton and Phoebus, Hampton and Ward. You know, is there any games or memories that stand out? A team that you always had to strap it up tight for?
I mean, we always had to strap it up tight against Indian River, Norcom, and Churchland. So the
Churchland?
Oh yeah, because Churchland was our rival.
Okay.
Rival. So the probably my best memory was 95 Churchland, because we beat Churchland and we got I forgot the cup. I forgot the name of the cup. So we got the cup back, and then we drove to Virginia Tech, and we saw Virginia Tech beat Miami. Then we went to Squires, to the best party
of all time.
All time.
Oh Lord, don't take me there, bro.
Oh my goodness.
If I had a hot tub time machine, my goodness. I didn't. You know what? That's crazy. I keep forgetting you were there because you weren't at Tech yet. You were there visiting.
Right. So that was the best game, because we we had a ball, man. We beat them down because they beat us the year before by like 2 or 3 points. And then we ended up killing them the next year. And we kind of celebrated the next day driving up to Tech, and then Virginia Tech beat Miami. So it was a great weekend. So that I would say that game.
Gotcha. So, you know, I want to give you a chance too in your legacy spotlight to mention also Dre Bly. We talked about him a few times already, but you knew Dre Bly before he became the iconic defensive back at Carolina and with the Rams. Yeah. And you know, Dre, I met him, you know, we came home at Virginia Beach. I talked to him on social media. I'm very impressed with what he's doing at Carolina, you know, as a recruiter and as a coach. But Dre Bly also had a huge influence on you. That's like one of your big brothers too, because, you know, he not only was one of the best players to ever do it down there, but he got better every year throughout his career in the NFL. I believe most recently he's been named on a nominee for the Hall of Fame ballot. You know, so I mean that is amazing. So just you know, get a few moments to talk about Dre's influence on you and what he means to life.
Dre's always Dre has always been one of those guys that constantly wanted to get better every year. He never wanted to top somebody else. He wanted to get better for himself every year. He wanted us to get better. He also wanted the entire team. He wanted everybody to get better. He was one of those players. He was one of those players that if it took himself to I better not say that part.
Go ahead.
I better not say that. Dre was he was definitely one of those perfectionists. I would say that he was a perfectionist. he ran track, he played basketball, he played baseball, football, and he's just a good guy. He didn't do crazy. He stayed out of trouble. Kept his grades up. Went to UNC.
Killed it at UNC.
Yeah, UNC. I mean, there's nothing you can say bad about him at all.
Yeah.
And he trains well. So the only thing he will probably say is he wanted to play more in the league. And that's everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
I will tell him, I wish I had his years in the league.
Yeah. No, I get it. We'll talk about that with you in a second, because people don't know about that with you either. Right. So you mentioned Tech, that party. Gosh, man, that was a great night. So Tony Morrison's influence on you, then I'm sure that party helped a lot, because I mean, it was people there from Richmond. It was so many people there. You know, we beat Miami for the first time. It's loaded.
People just understand.
Yeah.
People understand that game.
But your journey to Virginia Tech was not a smooth one. Because you had some challenges I want to allow you to speak on, because you get to Tech, you put you in the media guy, you're on TV and you're playing, and people don't know the backstory to it.
Man,
you went through it to get to Tech, man. Talk about it.
So I was never like a F student, but I had a couple of D's like my freshman year, and a couple of C's my sophomore year. So my grades went up like my junior year and my senior year. So my SAT score had to correlate with my GPA.
Yep.
While seniors were getting out of school back then at 12 o'clock, Coach Johnston, he was the football coach, head football coach, and my counselor. He came to me. He was like, well, what we could do is you could take classes over. And I'm like, okay, but that means you have to stay off the full year in school. So I'm like, what? What you mean stay? Like you would take class over, but you would have to stay the whole day. I was like, what? And then in that, so you would probably be in there with like freshmen, like not freshmen, but like 9th grade and 10th graders as a 12th grade student. So I'm just like, Jesus, what? I'm just like, I gotta swallow my pride. I'm like, yo, all right, let's do it. Like, I have no choice. So I took two or three classes over again. So I'm looking back at it. I'm just in class like, this is easy. So the only thing about it, I just won't apply myself. Like doing the work, and while the teacher's in there teaching and she has the homework up by the side, I'm doing the homework while she's in there explaining the work. So I'm I'm thinking to myself, you just wasn't applying yourself, because I know the stuff and I'm doing it. It's easy. It wasn't easy, but I was able to do the work. So I was like goofing off the first time I took the class. So even in that part, I had to take 2 or 3 classes over. That SAT was just killing me. So keep in mind, I'm also working, and I usually run track. So I didn't run track my senior year. My track coach was mad at me. my homeboy Malik Cook can talk to you about this. My Wade Williams was hot with me. He was so, you can run track. Like, coach, I got to concentrate on this SAT. I'm working. My mom working 2 jobs. I gotta make money. I gotta pay for my own SAT. I gotta do this. I gotta study. He just couldn't get it in his head, you know. So I took the SAT 5 times.
Wow, I thought it was 3.
I took it at Hampton, where you went to high school at. I took it at Decrete. I took it at Great Bridge. I think I took it at Western Branch. And I took it at Great Bridge twice. So I took it 5 times. And the last time I took it, I was just like, man, I was frustrated because I want to say if I did not get the correct score that aligned with my my GPA, I was going to go to Fort Union and go there for a year and then transfer to Virginia Tech. And we had that set up had I not got the score. So I was just like, man, I just need to relax, right? So took the test. I want to say a couple of weeks later, met with Coach Johnston and came out with the score, and everything was good.
I know you were happy.
What?
Listen, I
was happy, but when I got the tech, I was like, "Jeez, now it really starts." It took a miracle for me to get here. Now the work really started. It was like, yo, this stuff. So now, I went from, a class of 30, now a class of 350 kids.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's what some of these, kids don't understand that's in my classroom now. Like some of these colleges you go to, let's say you in a science class, earth science class now, where it's 25 kids, you go to a biology class at your college, it may be 325 kids in that class.
No doubt.
So, and the teacher or the professor not telling you to take notes. He or she just up there walking and talking. You got to know what to write down, when to write it down, what to listen to, or whatever.
No question.
That was brand new to me. So it's, that lesson right there, especially when I took those classes over, really let me know that, like, when I got the tech, when I got in classroom, I really need to start applying myself, not to like jerk off in class.
Mm-hmm.
Like myself, because I knew I could do the work. I was just playing around a little too much, and I wasn't studying like I should.
Well, I met you playing around. So you talk about tech. So I remember when you got there, for all our viewers watching this. So freshmen come in, most freshmen, even the arrogant, confident ones, they know their place. And, this is the 90s, the late 90s, mid 90s to late 90s. And, Wu-Tang is in heavy rotation and Madden and UCA. And I heard about some youngin' upstairs in Cochran in the dorm, because the older guys, we came over to shave heads and see what the freshmen were talking about. And I go upstairs, I take the elevator upstairs, and I see you walking around, man. You got on your Virginia Tech shorts on, some white socks, no shirt on, with Ghostface blasting. You were like, who's next? Who's next? Who's next? And I came in there and said, what you talking about? Come on, big boy. Yeah. And you were like, yo, you don't want to see me. You don't want to see me. I was like, I said, yo, this guy right here, I instantly knew you were going to be somebody I was going to be tight with. At that moment, because you came in. Then I found out you were from down the way. And I was like, oh, yeah, I can tell, man. But you came in with a bang. But college is tough, man. I've had, Cornell Brown on here, J.C. Price, Ahmad Hawkins, Marcus. It doesn't matter what school, guys at HBCUs. It's a rough transition.
It's a rest. Yeah.
Who were you talking to when you were talking about going back home?
Yo, Lorenzo Ferguson was my roommate. Remember, we got there right after y'all beat Texas.
Yes.
So Beamer was on that, we got to go back. We got to be better, blah, blah, blah. And we had 2 days every day for a month except on Sundays, we had one practice. And me and Lorenzo looked at each other in the bed, like not in the same bed. He was in his other bed. And we was just like, we can make it at Hampton. Oh no, this is like this is too much. Like I'm that. Like, bruh, we went at Western Branch, but bruh, I'm about to die. Like we felt like we couldn't move. Like we literally couldn't move until we got on the field. And then like we felt like we had to move when we got on the field. Like, you know that.
Listen, it was no heat advisory. There was no heat advisory. I remember when you were there at that time, I don't know if that's when the ozone was changing, but at that time, a player died at Rutgers. Then you had the lineman, I forgot his name, with the hair, Corey,
Minnesota,
whatever, died. And we all talking as teammates and players. Oh yeah, Coach Beans, man. I know they about to cancel practice. Him and Eddie walked up, and I said, okay, here come the announcement. Beans pulled out them rolled up papers. He said, listen, we got plenty of water, Gatorade. We're gonna push through. We're gonna push through. We're gonna push through. And I looked at you and everybody. I said, man, it's 109 degrees out here. You know,
we got shoulder pads and a helmet on. With thick, the only person making noise is Tony Morrison. Y'all ready to practice? What y'all scared for? This ain't nothing. Like, this dude is crazy.
Tony was different because Tony's over there, the only one talking. I remember Jamel Smith looked at me, everybody looking. I said, man, Tony built different. Tony said, it's not even hot. It's freezing out here. And Tony, to his credit, had on long sleeves under his pads. It was 100 degrees. You know what I'm saying? Tony was just built different, man. But I will say this, man. You know, Virginia Tech, man. Like we got to get you on the Vic 757 show too. That's another thing. We'll get that. That's later. But we were talking. I was doing Hokie trivia, and we were talking about all the backs. Mike was like, man, Tech can have so many backs. You, Andre Kendrick, Tony Kennedy, Von Hebron, Marcus Parker, Ryan Williams, David Wilson, Darren Evans, Brandon Orr. You came in behind a great group of backs. You know, Brian Edmonds, God rest his soul, aka Poons, Dwayne Thomas, salute to DT. Dwayne Thomas was special. You know, of course, Ken Knox and Don Marcus, all those guys, man. I know we didn't name everybody. Touchdown Tommy, a lot of guys were there. You came in very humble, and you end up having to play a little bit early. You had a very unique situation, if I remember correctly, Shy. You played, and then you redshirted, and then you came back. How was it playing as early as you did, man? Were you nervous? I mean, because, you know, at that time, we ran the ball on 3rd and 7 back then.
3rd and 12. You know, Ox got hurt in the Akron game, and then 2 other backs didn't work out. And then, you know, I was told I was gonna redshirt. So pretty much I was just on the team just like they did Mike, you know, Michael Vick. I was just on the team just to see the atmosphere, you know, get a feel of the atmosphere. So next year I don't get like shell shock of the crowd like that. So when Coach Height told me that, I was like, okay, I'm cool. I mean, you know, like I said, I was never one of them players like I gotta play now or I'm transferring out. I was never like that. So he was cool. Like, okay, I'll just let you know. I was like, oh, cool. So when he told me, like, he didn't tell me, he yelled, like, yo, get your ass in there and hold on to the ball. I was like, okay, all right. Okay. So I got in there and that was it.
And this is the Akron game, right?
Yeah, that was the Akron game.
So let me remind, at Akron, right?
At Akron.
So let me remind everybody, the year before, for those may not remember, we played Akron in a home and home. So the year before we beat Akron 77-27. Yeah. Okay. In a rainstorm. Jason Taylor, the Hall of Famer from the Miami Dolphins, was on that team. That's about all they had. They had some other guys, but he was it. And we smashed him. Then we go to Akron. And only thing I knew about then, LeBron wasn't even what we knew. He wasn't even on the scene. It was they were known for rubbers or something, not rubbers, but
Right.
rubber. And it's a close game. And we a top program in the nation, and they gave us everything we had. We had turnovers. They throw you in this game. This is a crucial game, man. This we
Jason Teller's still on the team too.
Yeah, he got 2 sacks against us. We won 21-18.
Yeah.
So I mean, you go in this game, yo, it's crazy.
I didn't know I was gonna play. Oxidine get hurt. I don't know. Does he twist his ankle or a knee or something like that?
I don't remember.
Then 2 other backs go in. I think they both fumble or something like that.
I think Shelley had a turnover, I think.
And then I think Gildersleeve fumbled too, I think. And then they threw me in. And I was like, okay. I was like, all right, let's do it. So I went in there, and I mean, that was it. So when Ox came back from injury, and then Parker came back, and then I was like thrown the like special team duty after that. When my red shirt was gone then. So I was cool with that. I helped out.
You helped out in a lot of ways because you had a great game against Boston College, and you had a great game. I started 4 games. I remember. I started that game. I played that game, and I started 3 more games after that. Yeah,
and the veterans came back.
Yeah.
Next year, Pegues came from Clemson.
Lamont Pegues.
Yeah, and then Dre redshirted the year before. Then Dre came, and then that was a year. I broke my thumb in spring practice.
I remember that.
Had surgery on my thumb. And then they asked me to redshirt because all the backs. I was like, okay, cool. And they thought I was gonna be mad and upset. I was like, for what? I didn't redshirt last year. You got two seniors. Even though they asked Parker to be fullback, I said I thought that was big of Parker to play fullback.
Okay, pause right there. So Marcus Parker and Ken Oxenden haven't been on the legacy spotlights. They've been on. But to this day, I'm telling you right now to everybody watching, Marcus Parker, one of the best backs to ever do it. People don't realize if he doesn't hurt his knee, if he don't hurt his knee at Salem High School, the Roanoke Salem, we don't see Marcus at Tech. Mm-hmm. And just to give you guys an idea, because we didn't have YouTube back then, I believe he had over 300 yards rushing in a playoff game. Okay, so Marcus sacrificed for the team. I don't know if guys would do that right now. I know the fullback is used differently, halfback or H-back, but Marcus put himself last. He put the team first.
Yeah, guys just don't do that like that now these days. So like when he did that, I'm like, yeah, I'm my red shirt, no problem. You had 2 seniors. Then you got a guy that Pegues that came from Clemson, and then Andre, he redshirted last year, so he has to play this year. Like, why wouldn't I redshirt this year? So I'm gonna go against 5 guys? No, next year two guys will be gone. Then I'll go against 3. So it wasn't a big thing. So it was an easy decision for me to make. So Coach Height was like, I was like, yo, it's nothing. But I can see where Coach Height is looking at, because as a coach, he's probably looking at how athletes are today. He thought I was gonna go to the transfer portal because I played the year before or something like that. But like I said, I've never been that type of player to get a taste of the field. Oh, I can't play this year, or I'm leaving. It wasn't, for me, it wasn't like that at all.
So I want to ask you this, Shy, and I know we can't get all into it for the sake of time, and this is a family show, but at the same time, I want to ask you about
what's about that?
No. I want to ask you about the running back room, and then I want to ask you about Coach Height and Steinsburg. But first, I'm gonna start about the running back room. You just named some personalities. You talking about Andre Kendrick, who to this day is one of the funniest and realest dudes. Shout out to my guy, Andre Kendrick. First of all, for our listeners and viewers, we have the running backs. I don't know if they do it now, but during the Coach Height era, they were called the Stallions. Okay.
Yeah.
This goes back to Tony Kennedy and Von Hemron and them. So the Stallions, you got Jared Ferguson, Shelly Ellison, Cullen Hawkins, Marcus Parker, Ken Oxendine. I mean, Lamont Pegues. Just that, how crazy was that running back room? Because everybody talked about the receivers being divas and the defense being crazy. I really feel like people sleep on the running back room because, number one, Coach Height, we'll talk about him in a second, but Coach Height was one of the funny. Coach Height would roast you in front of your family. But we're going to get into Coach Height in a second. But how did y'all stay focused with Ox, who is funny in himself? Do you have Marcus Parker, Lamont? He came there, Clemson.
Lamont was like the granddad of everybody. Parker was like the laid back one. Oz was like the philosopher of everybody. But the running backs was like, we, as you know, the linemen were the workers.
Yes, we were.
You guys were the workers. You guys were the heart of our offense, and we were the engine.
Yep.
Without the two of us, nothing happens. We don't score no points. The offense doesn't move because back then we ran the ball. We ran the ball first, and then play action. And then we might do a screen play. We might throw the ball. We might do that. But first. So, we joked a lot because we knew in practice we were going to do a lot of running, as you know. We joked a lot. I think we needed the type of coach like Coach Height because we didn't need somebody down our throats because we were constantly running or blocking or doing something physical. Mm-hmm. We weren't linemen, but it felt like we were linemen. We weren't protection because back then, as Virginia Tech running backs, we ran the ball and we pass block. We weren't going out for routes. We either ran the ball or we pass block.
And I think y'all were very physical because, I didn't mention, I forgot because this is my brother forever too. Y'all, Wayne Ward, all y'all, man, all y'all were physical, man. Like it, because again, I don't want to use terms that everybody watching this may not know. We had a drill called middle drill. And middle drill, the defense knew what we were doing, and the offense knew what the defense was doing. And it was not for anybody that was faint of heart. It was no way to hide. The coaches stood behind the offense. They had the cones on the side, and the defense was right there, and you couldn't pass. And
I wish we had videotape so people could see how the middle drill was.
I promise you, I grew up very quickly because, and on the other side, you had guys like Myron Newsom, George Del Rico, Tony Morrison, my man Stephen Tate, who didn't have no neck.
No neck.
God,
I'm about to say the same thing.
God made him to play football. You talking about, listen, you guys, I miss those days only, not just because of the brotherhood, but because, man, talking to Cornell and Chris Ellis recently, those drills, those practices, you talking about how hot it was, and you and Lorenzo wanted to go home. Mike and Rael said the same thing. They talked about going home. It was nowhere to hide in college at Virginia Tech. It wasn't. But I'll say this, y'all. I want to transition to this. You mentioned Coach Height. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna ask you about Coach Steinspring. I want to ask you about Coach Height. I've been trying to get him on my show, but Coach Height is a very humble, laid back, low key guy. Coach Height recruited me the last year. He recruited Tidewater. Then he went back to his recruiting grounds in DeMatha, the Maryland area. If there's somebody that I think is not talked about enough, it's two coaches. It's Coach Height and Coach Steinspring, but we'll get to Coach Stein in a second. Coach Height is one of the best men I've ever known. When I was being recruited by Florida, UVA. I mean, it was some powerhouses, man. And Coach Ike came in, and he was smooth, he was real, and I just always felt like he really loved me as a person. How was it like to play for him? Do you agree that he doesn't get enough? We know about the Beamers and the Fosters and the other coaches at Tech, but that run, in my humble opinion, this is me, I don't know if you agree or not, that run from 87 when Beamer got there, and they really picked up at 93 with the Independence Bowl all the way up to 2015, doesn't happen without Coach Ike.
I gotta agree. By far one of the most important pieces on the coaching staff. I think his personality, his essence, his leadership, and just his mark on players. I mean, you can ask any player from the time he was there, any player would say nothing but great things about Coach Ike. Nothing but great things about Coach Ike. Nothing negative at all. Everybody loved him. Everybody thought he was very genuine. He would never lie to you. If you messed up, he let you know you messed up. And he was one of those, I'm not gonna say, I'm talking like he's not here. He is one of those people. If you don't like him, something wrong with you. Something wrong with you. Like, everybody loves Coach Ike. And like last time I saw him was 2 years? Was it 2 years ago?
It was 3 years ago. I couldn't make it. You went down for the Bud Foster.
The Wake game,
Forest,
right?
Wake Forest game.
Yeah, Wake Forest game.
Tech beat Wake Forest. Yep.
Still funny. Still
he is the funniest.
Right. Wife is Ann Height is still funny too. She still got that smile. So like nothing's changed about him. So I love seeing them come to Coon's funeral. I sat beside him. He was joking in there.
You know, that's the thing, man. The personalities, man. You had Bruce Garnes and, Berlin and Coach Foster, J.B. Grimes, Coach Bustle. You know what I'm saying?
Coach Bustle. What's our trainer name?
Eddie.
Not Eddie.
Mike Goforth?
Mike Goforth he said, by far, your year and my year, the best personality, best characters he's ever been around.
Oh, without question.
No, he said no. He's like, I've never been around a better team ever. It's like, but when it's time putting them pads on, y'all put it. I said, yeah, that's how it's supposed to be.
Yes.
Off the field, we easygoing, we joking, we always joking. But when it's showtime.
Yeah, I remember one time I messed up trying to shave my beard, and back then, and I just shaved everything off. And he walked up to me and said, Vic, grow your beard back. There was nowhere to run and hide even off the field, man. But speaking of characters, man, he just recently celebrated a birthday, Coach Steinspring. I texted him. Coach Steinspring, real quick, man, just talk about, your love and admiration for him, because he is another guy, whether it's the Bucky Hodges generation, our generation. I mean, his name comes up, people just start smiling too. I mean, he recruited the Cam Chancellors, the Tyrod. I mean, he's still coaching now up in Delaware, man. Because didn't he recruit you?
Yeah. He had he had the Tidewater area. Tidewater area. And when he was, I don't know if he was taken off or they switched up on the area or whatever. I was hurt. And then when he left Tech, I was even upset that he left Tech or whatever
Yeah,
happened.
I'm not happy about that still, but
like he's a great dude too. Like he's up there with Coach Height. My mom loves Coach Height and Coach Steinspring.
Yep.
And well, like they neck and neck, man. They're not gonna lie to they, like I said, both of them are very genuine men. And that's all you can ask for, especially in this day and age of coaching and like sports, stuff like that. You just want somebody that's not going to lie to you. Is not going to use you just because you have a skill set that could benefit your team. You want somebody that genuinely cares about you and want the best for you. These are two guys that want the best for you and cares about you. And like Coach Height and Coach Steinspring, like to this day, I still talk to them.
Yeah,
Facebook and got the number and stuff like that. So, I mean, I'm not too many coaches still do that. Like I left in 2000. It's 2021 right now. So, like he's up there. He's a great dude.
Yeah, you know. You mentioned Steinspring and Coach Height, or at least I did, and you talked about how much we care about them and all those coaches that were there, you know, Gentry and all those coaches that were there during that run. You were part of, and this is a special statement, but this is just my opinion, but I'm sure many people will agree with. You were one of the best teams in Virginia Tech history, a team that was a quarter away from winning Virginia Tech's first ever national championship. Many people have said to me, and I said it because I was in the stands in New Orleans with my then girlfriend, now wife, Shanice. If you and Ricky Hall don't get hurt, you guys win because I win the national championship. I had Andre Davis on the Vic 757 show, and Andre said he can't watch that game. He can't finish it because you guys had nothing against Winky and Peter Ward, because I'm telling you I respect them immensely, but you guys, I mean, Andre Kendrick got off. Andre was getting off. We all know Mike did his thing. The one thing about that team, whether it was Chris Cyrus, Corey Moore, Carl Bradley, Nick Sorensen, everybody, the backups, that was a not only close team, but it was one of the best teams in Tech history. And that includes the 2014 that won the ACC, a lot of great teams, the 95 team that really, set it off with beating Texas. Do you agree that I know we can't go back in time, when you and Ricky got hurt, that changed everything?
Yeah, I think definitely Ricky. Because as you see, when I got hurt, because I got hurt twice, people don't know. I came out the game twice. I got hurt on a kickoff return. And I was icing my knee, and I think I tweaked my MCL on that. And then on a play fake, a linebacker, that's when I got the high ankle sprain. On a high ankle sprain, you're done. I know Coach Height was like, can you go? I was like, Coach, I can barely walk right now. He was like, but definitely Ricky Hall. When Ricky Hall broke his leg, right, in practice, I was like, when was that? It was like 4 days before the game.
It was the week of the game.
The week of the game in practice. He did that. I was like, man, because then we had Emmett Johnson.
He was a young guy though. He was young.
He was a young guy. He was a freshman. He was a freshman, and we had that leadership and that veteran in Ricky. And then we also had that leadership in Andre Davis. But then that meant they could double more on Andre Davis and still just have one person on Emmett. So I knew that was going to hurt us more than me when I went down. Because you see, we still had, when I went down, like Dre ain't no slouch. He
ain't.
So I wasn't worried. Like I said, when I left, I knew my backs was going to be straight with Dre. And then you had Lee Suggs waiting in the wing too. And then you had Mike. I mean, when I went down, you had Mike and Drake. So we were gonna be fine. But yeah, I definitely when Ricky Hall went down, I was like, God, man. I mean, even when I take it back, even the year before, if Al Clark don't get hurt, I think we go for a national championship.
No question. We were three plays away from being 12-0 that year.
I tell everybody that. I think 98 years set us up for 99.
No question.
Because we knew we had all the talent the year before. But like I said, the quarterback, not having that quarterback consistently that year kind of hurt us.
Yeah.
But then when Mike got hurt, the first game in JMU, I was like, oh man, not again. I was like, man, come
out
on.
There,
man.
Yeah, out there flipping like Willie Beeman. Did that Willie Beeman flip.
Right. But yeah, 98 year, I think we could have went 12-0 that year had Al Clark not gotten hurt, man. Because like I said, those 3 games, man, we were up.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're right. Those were 2 great years, and Tech has benefited from some great players like you. And speaking of that, man, I remember, and I definitely have been waiting to ask you this for your legacy spotlight, because I'm very popular on Twitter, not just with Tech fans, but especially with Tech fans, but with a lot of people. And I've been asked this on radio shows. I remember because I was back in Blacksburg helping Mike Gentry out because I had gotten cut by the Ravens. And you came to me after that season. I came back in town. And you said, "Hey, big bro, I'm leaving early." And I was like, "What you mean?" He's like, I've had a great run. And running backs, the career doesn't last long." And I was like, which is true, because I never looked at it that way. But 20 years later, that is so true. You were like, I gotta, go. And I remember seeing him on the bottom line of ESPN, you and Ike Charlton. And I believe, and I don't want to misspeak here, but you guys were the first players ever in the Beamer era to leave early. And
first 2 to leave Virginia Tech early, period.
Yes. Virginia Tech. So now it's nothing. But you guys did it, and there was some confusion, some backlash. Mel Kiper had you one of the top backs in the country, without question. Mm-hmm. And based on your numbers, everybody saw it. Speak on what happened. I don't need no hot takes, no assumptions. It's your legacy spotlight. Mm-hmm. Some people, why did Shyrone leave? He shouldn't have left. You, in your own words, tell everybody watching this, including people that are going to see this, that have this misconception. It was grades, or he was blackballed, or he had to feed his family, had a baby on the way. Why did you leave early, and what happened with you dropping in the draft?
Okay, so you want to know why I left and what happened?
Yep. So in your own words,
why did you?
Yep. Because that's your legacy spotlight, man. Because because it's not. I get on Twitter and I do radio, and people ask what comes up on Facebook, and I'm like,
right.
This is what I know, but it's your legacy spotlight.
Oh, okay. So I left early because I had a son on the way. Mm-hmm. At the time, I didn't know it was a son, but I had a child on the way. And plus, on top of that, I had got injured in the bowl game, because I'm thinking, what if that was to happen during the season? But what if it was even, more serious? So I decided to leave. So Mel Kiper said I was going to go, I think at the time was like first, third round, anywhere from first to third round. Even some coaches got some agents to look at it again. Mm-hmm. That agent came back to me and tried to sign me. Tried to sign me because they saw how high I was. So we fast forward. Then I end up going 7th round. Like even the Mel Kiper and the commentators are like, don't understand what's going on. First day, like don't understand why Shyrone Stith is still on the board, just this and this and that. So I go 7th round. I'm driving back to Virginia Tech. My agents called me, and Tampa Bay scout called them, and they got me on 3-way. So I'm on the phone talking to the agent, my agent, and I'm talking to the Tampa Bay scout. So Tampa Bay scout tells me, I'm not going to tell you like who told us what, but we were told that you had personal problems. And I'm just like, what? What type of personal problems? He wouldn't tell me what type of personal problems, but and that's why I failed in the draft. He wouldn't tell me who said it, or what type of personal problems. And I was like, nothing's going on. Had a baby, that was it. So I don't know who told him that.
And mind you, that Tampa Bay didn't even draft you. The Jaguars did, right?
Right. But they were looking at me because they interviewed me I went to the combine. They interviewed me at the combine. A lot of teams interviewed me at the combine. They even worked me out at Virginia Tech when we had the workout at Virginia Tech. So they were definitely one of the teams looking at me too. So like I said, I don't know. To this day, I don't know who told what lie, but it was, I don't know if it was to not leave early or leave school early or what. I don't know. From there, it left a sour taste in my mouth for a little bit. And like I said, I know who it wasn't. I knew who it wasn't. So, I just thanked them for calling me and letting me know what happened. And I just moved on from it. You know, I was in the league. At that point, you know, 1st round to free agent. If you were on the team, it didn't matter. I made the roster. Every year I was on the team, I made the roster. So the only thing I didn't get was that I got a signing bonus, but I didn't get that big signing bonus. Bonus. Mm-hmm. You get drafted 1st round or 3rd round or 4th round. So, you know, I missed out on that. But then I got injured my knee at two surgeries on the same knee, MCL and meniscus tear on the same knee. So I think the first surgery I was with Jacksonville. Then the second surgery I was with the Colts. So I got picked up by the Colts when Edgerrin James tore his ACL. So that's when Dominique Rose got off.
Baller.
Oh, right. He balled. So that next year we had Edgerrin, Dominique, and me. We would have had the dopest backfield in the league. So Edgerrin was coming back. Edgerrin wasn't going to play any preseason games. So it was going to be me and Dom. Dom ended up tearing his ACL in practice. So I started all the preseason games along with 2 guys that didn't know barely any of the plays. So right. That's a whole nother story right there. So it was a game against Seattle Seahawks. So whenever Peyton is in, I'm in. Peyton Manning. So whenever Peyton Manning's in, I'm in because I knew all the plays. So Peyton wanted to go in another series. I had to go in another series. Then third quarter come in. So we supposed to play from first to second. Then the second half, I was going to just play all special teams. And the other two guys were going to play with the other quarterbacks. But Peyton wanted to play another series. So we go in another series. And then on that series, it was a wide receiver stream. So I pulled the inside DB, and the guard pulls the block somebody, I think. And instead of blocking the other guy, the guard trips and hits the back of my knee that I injured in Jacksonville. So he injured that knee and had to have surgery on that knee again. The same knee, same injury. So they had to cut more ligament. So that kind of ended my career because it's torn MCL, torn meniscus, and I had some bone fragments too. So same injury twice on the same knee, had that 2 injuries. But the good thing about it, the second surgery I had it done by Dr. Andrews. So he did a great job on it the second time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that famous doctor everybody goes to. You know, Sha, I'll just say this, man. I never told you this, man, but you handled the whole tech situation leaving early with class. It had to be a frustrating thing. You know, it is what it is. Then you get to Jacksonville. You play for one of the toughest coaches in NFL history, Coughlin. And then you go to the Colts, and you are on the team with the famous rant playoffs. People don't. So everybody watching this, if you go back, you probably remember it for those watching when Coach Moore goes off about playoffs. When and he's talking, Shyrone was on the team. He was in the locker room when the coach went off. Yeah.
When I tell you this dude cried after every game, and I was like, who is this dude, man? This guy cries after every game. Cried every game, he's crying. I'm like, yo, he needs to get on some medication or something. Something's going on.
Yeah.
He's crying.
Yeah, but I'll say this, man.
Coming down.
Yeah, it's some wild characters in the league, man. Some wild. You play.
Then that next year, Dungy comes in.
That's right.
Dungy comes in. It's like totally different team, man. Totally different. I'm like, man, this is awesome. And like everything you ever heard about Dungy is true. Everything. He never raised his voice. He's very respectful. All the coaches love him. He's a team-oriented type of coach. Cool guy. He get his point across without yelling. You get your work in, you're out. Coughlin used to get in like, let's say 6. The coaches wouldn't leave work till like 12, 1 o'clock at night. The coach used to come in at like 6 in the morning, wouldn't leave till 12 midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning. Would come in at like 7 or 8 and leave like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So like even in NFL, you have these different coaches that feel like they got to stay all day. Some coaches got to, get the work in and they leave. It's crazy like that.
Yeah. Well, you had a great college career, my dude. You had a great pro career. Didn't go the way you wanted with injuries, but you still got there. A lot of guys don't even get that far. And then now you're a seasoned father. You are an educator. As we wrap up your legacy spotlight, man, you know how much I respect you as a teacher. And we joke about the different types of students you get, but your kids love and respect you. And my mom's a teacher, so I'm always gonna be biased to people like you and our sister Tasha, the principals and teachers, man. But you're in ground zero. You're with the students. You're teaching. Just talk about, you always wanted to be a teacher. You're living your dream as well. You had a great run, but now you're a teacher. Just talk about education and how teaching keeps you young and keeps you laughing and frustrated all at the same time.
I don't know, man. We need another 2 hours for that. Like I would say education now is all about accountability, man. There's a lot of accountability that's missing in education. Like we love to blame the school. We love to blame the teachers. But what about the student? Like I told you, like I didn't apply myself. I didn't apply myself like my ninth grade year or my 10th grade year. I wasn't goofing off. Like I said, I just wasn't studying like I should have been. A lot of students now just like, they just don't care about school. They think they can just get by and be an entrepreneur, or they can make money doing other things, be a football player, a basketball player, or I'm gonna be a salon owner. Okay, you think you're gonna do that? You need money. How much product you're gonna use on her hair? How you gonna pay the bills? Like you got stuff out. So it's a lot about accountability when also with parents too. Also with parents, like parents have to step up. You got to know what your kids is doing. Like you can't just blame other people or other kids when you don't know what your kid is doing either. Like, what are your kids doing?
Talk about it.
Like, do you know your kid got a gun? Oh, you don't know your kid got a gun. Oh yeah, your kid got a gun. Where your kid at? It's 12 o'clock. Your kid 13 years old. Where your kid at right now? So stuff like that to get on my nerves when I get someone calling me, really, like real life now. Can you talk to my son? Where your son at? I don't know. Why you don't know? Your son's 14 years old and he's 14. You don't know where he's at. So what do you want me to do? What do you want me? When last time you saw him? 2 days ago. What? So when I call him, he picks up and it's like, Mom, I don't care about me, this and that. And I get a total different story from her. So who do I know? So, and then it's all about my king. Like, stop calling your son your king. Like, this man don't got no job. He ain't cleaning his room up. He ain't doing no chores. He have to earn that name. He got to earn that right to be king. Like, he has things to earn that name. Like, don't give him that. Don't put him on a pedestal. Like, make him earn that. Because a lot of we give. I think in my mind, we give our kids too much without expecting anything back. So we give them privilege without giving anything back. So they expect stuff.
Yep.
I had to go off on my class Friday. I mean, when I say went off, like I'm talking to the people talking now. I went off on my class. We're outside playing. They're outside playing flag football, and they cursing. Like, I warned them. Like, they just going off cursing. I said, if I hear another curse word out here, we're packing it up. I hear another one. Blew the whistle, pack it up. So we go inside. And why we come inside? So I just told them. I said, yo, you guys are talking like I'm one of the boys. Like, I'm your teacher. Like, first of all, don't ever feel like you should feel that comfortable cursing in front of an adult. Like, I'm not y'all friend. I'm not y'all cousin. I said, I understand y'all curse. Don't do it at school. Like, do that on your own time. Do it in front of your peers. You should never feel comfortable to be cursing in school. Like, if I call y'all parents, you guys will feel a different way, because I know you guys don't curse in front of your parents.
No doubt.
So they was just looking with the dumb face. We were just gonna sit here. I was like, yeah, we're gonna sit here. We'll sit. We got 30 minutes. So, like, you know, it's little stuff like that. You know, I didn't have to go crazy. I wasn't yelling, but you know, it's little stuff like that. Like, yo, I'm not gonna just let you guys disrespect me, even though you weren't cursing at me. But I'm not gonna just sit here and listen to y'all curse outside while y'all playing the F word, the B word, the S word. And y'all in 8th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, no, I didn't heard y'all curse 9 times out here, less than 20 minutes. No, we good. I'm done. Like, I feel like I'm at the basketball court out Washington Park or something.
Yeah.
When Arlington. We're in one of the richest places. No, we good. Pack it up. Let's get the stuff. We're gone.
No doubt, man. It starts at home, you know, but I'll say this, man. Teacher Appreciation Day is more than one day for me. And I appreciate you, not just with this Legacy Spotlight, but our friendship, our brotherhood, and also what you do for those students. And also what you do for my own children, what you do for my children. The encouragement, you know, all of that stuff, man. You know, it takes a village, man. And you've been part of a great village, Shy. And this is
the point of this. Cool kids, man.
Yeah. No, this is the point of this show, though, man. We wrap up where I'll let you give your final thoughts, man. I'll let my guests give their final thoughts on feedback or advice you want to give the, not just students, but people in general. For, you know, you've overcome injuries, adversity, had to take the test 5 times. You had somebody, you know, label you saying that you had problems and that didn't exist, and yet you still standing. You're successful. You're a phenomenal parent and a phenomenal leader in our community, man. To get to that point, man, you had to, you know, be resilient. I mean, I've learned a lot about you today. I didn't even know you worked in high school while playing football and running track.
Man.
Yeah, but with that being said, man, like. With that being said, tell our viewers, man, your final thoughts on what you want to say to them in regards to the importance of staying the course, man. Like some advice you want to give, whether it's, you know, a young person or older person, about pursuing their dream and also staying the course, overcoming adversity, man. What feedback do you want to give them? Your final thoughts.
I would say sometimes you can't control your circumstances, but you can control your choices. So, you know, sometimes you're born certain circumstances, but you don't have to choose the wrong choices in any situation. I talk to kids all the time. They tell me their circumstances and they feel like, you know, I'm already living like this. Why? I'm like, well, just because you're in this situation now doesn't mean you're going to be in this situation forever. You know, sometimes it takes focus, discipline, and sacrifice, and you can get out of it, you know. And I tell them about my situation, or I tell them about another friend's situation. And I tell them I show them pictures, or I even call them up and let them know like where he is today. And, you know, these kids think just because they are in this situation they're in now, they got to stay in that situation. I'm like, no, like you can make money other ways. You can live your life a different way. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not going to be overnight, but you know, you 13, you're 15 years old. Like you want to be making $50,000 like legally right now? It ain't gonna work. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna
legally, yeah.
Right. So I'm just like, dude, just because your circumstances are what they are now, you still can make the right choices. So that would be my main concern for anybody at any age.
No doubt. No, man. I appreciate it. And that's wise words from a wise man. Also a great man, man. Shyrone Stith, man. This has been his legacy spotlight. I appreciate you jumping on tonight, man. I just want to say to all the people that support Shyrone and everybody that knows about all the great things he's doing, man, continue to support our teachers, our educators, our administrators, man. They're putting their lives on the line every day to make sure our youth are safe, man. And Shyrone's one of the leaders in the forefront of that. So thank you, Shyrone, on behalf of Vicktory Life. We appreciate you jumping on. This has been great.
It, man.
Reminiscing and reflecting on some great times, some great memories, man. So for everybody watching, please subscribe to our channel, Vicktory Life, on our YouTube channel. That's VICKTORY Life. Also, make sure you check out future episodes, even old episodes. And like we say, every episode, no matter where you go, no matter what you do, make sure you have a positive impact. You can leave a great legacy. Thank you, Shyrone. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you too, man. Peace.
Yes, sir.